So, how many of you have ever given to a homeless person on the street? Great. So, did you ever wonder to yourself, will this person ever get back on their feet? Or did I just feed this person's addiction if they have one? Or what are they going to do with my money and everyone else's money? Well, this scenario is just like welfare. So according to the class survey out of 17 of you, 15 of you strongly agreed or agreed with my topic. Welfare recipients should be tested for drugs. Now, according to the Health Research Funding Organization, some of the pros of this would be to cut government spending, stay off drugs, and to be prepared for drug testing in the real world. However, today, I will be reinforcing your beliefs on why welfare recipients should be tested for drugs, and also persuading you on the negative effect of welfare that has a negative effect on taxpayers, can result in more drug addiction, and should promote more self-efficiency. So let's begin with taxpayers. Now here's a quote from Arizona State Representative Kimberly Yee, and she goes on to say that receiving a public benefit is a privilege and not a right. Drug testing welfare recipients is simply about the responsible use of our tax dollars. Now, as a taxpayer, I don't want to be obligated to fund the lifestyle of someone who is using drugs. It's your money and it's my money, and I don't want my money to be used like that. Now, in 2009, Arizona went on to establish a program of testing welfare recipients. And what would happen if someone was found of using substances, they would go out and confront that person. They would send them to a treatment center, and this would enable them to become more productive in this world and get back on their feet. Now also, potential employees in the world need to be drug tested at most jobs. So should welfare recipients. It's simple. You don't pass the test, you don't get the job. You don't pass the test, you don't get welfare. Taxpayers deserve to know that their hard-earned cash is wisely being used and not going to support a drug user's next hit, which brings me to my second point. Drug addiction. So marijuana is not the only drug that most of these welfare recipients are using, if they are using. There's crack, cocaine, methamphetamine, PCP, LSD, Percocets, Oxycontin, and heroin. Now, according to Professor Lawrence M. Mead, we need to demand that all applicants be clean of all of these drugs. This would help some of these people stay off of welfare, and they could not work because of their drug habit. Again, taxpayers do not want to feed nor support their addiction. This is why we must test these people. Now, rehab is also another solution, which Arizona did back in 2009, and it is also causes these people to become one step closer to get back on their feet to employment, which brings me to my last point of self-sufficiency. In 2011, the U.S. government spent over $900 billion on these welfare programs, including Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, providing food, clothing, cash, housing, healthcare to all of these recipients. Now, that's all good said and done. However, a lot of these welfare recipients are abusing their benefits and privileges of using drugs. Welfare spending already approaches $1 million each year. Again, this is your money and this is my money. Therefore, we must cut the spending and increase drug testing. And here's a quote from Robert Rector on the topic of self-sufficiency. He goes on to say that welfare programs should be designed to produce more self-sufficiency among able-bodied adults, and to discourage long-term dependence on the government. Again, welfare is a privilege, not a right. It's temporary, and we need to get back on our feet and get back into the real world. Now, to conclude, I hope I reinforce your beliefs on how welfare recipients should be tested for drugs. And I want to leave you with 3 anonymous responses from debate.org answering the question, should welfare recipients be drug tested? And this first one is from a taxpayer point of view. And this person goes on to say, taxpayers shouldn't have to support someone else's substance habit or other matters. Me and my husband both work. I would hate to find out that our tax money was being used to support someone's habit. Also, we are getting drug tested on our jobs. They should be drug tested when applying for government assistance. If they use the excuse that it goes against their right as Americans, then we should have that same right as employees. Yes, drug testing for welfare applicants, absolutely. Now the second person has the point of view from drug addiction. And this person goes on to say, yes, they should be tested. Just like people working a job, welfare recipients should be drug tested for heavy drugs as well. If they are required to be tested to get paid, so should those who are receiving money assistance as well. This would help fill out those who might be possibly using drugs for money. And the last person takes a standpoint from self-sufficiency, and he goes on to say, government assistance is there to help you get back on your feet. It is not there for you for the rest of your life. I'm a single mother that has never asked for help, but if for some reason one day I had to, I would be mad if they did not drug test me. Help should be given to those who are in need, not to those who are too lazy to work for a living. Some people sell their benefits for cash and use that cash to go out and buy drugs, while they have family at home starving. Yes, please test these people for drugs. It is not fair. So I hope these real life situations help you understand and get a better grasp on this serious topic. And I encourage you all to act on this matter because, again, it is affecting you and it's affecting